Well, thank you. It's great to be here, and I think I just noticed I had the same suit on but a different tie as that picture there. I don't know if that's the same shirt or not. But it's great to be here, and I should pick my wardrobe a little bit better and be a little bit more flexible. But, you know, limited income on a government salary, you only keep one suit. So, yes. But as my wife would say is that I'm cheap. My mother would say I'm frugal, and my mother-in-law thinks frugal is a bad word. But without, getting back maybe to my talking points versus just talking a little bit about myself, our mission in the Hogan-Rutherford administration has been and will continue to be economic development. And the key to that development, of course, is the small and minority business community. While we will and everyone will focus in many cases on our large businesses and making sure that they stay in the state, that they expand in the state, we know that the real job creators and the growth is going to occur in the small business communities. And so I just want to thank you for putting this on, and particularly on behalf of Governor Hogan, who couldn't be here today. He would have loved to be here, but he is dealing with a challenge, as you pretty well know at this point, with cancer, and he is fighting a good fight. He's doing quite well, a little tired, but he's doing very well. And with all the prayers that come in for him and the thoughts and good wishes, one of the things that he's pointed out over and over again is really think about all those other people who are going through similar situations as he is and may not have the same type of support that he has. Think about them, think about their families and the caretakers when you include him in your prayers. But as I mentioned, our singular focus is on the economy and creating opportunities and jobs for all of our citizens. And that was the reason why the governor and I were elected. And the reason that we're here today, because your businesses are going to play and continue to play a critical role in our state's comeback. The governor's office, or I should say in the governor's office, and I say governor's office because we have a joint staff, we have a joint office. I don't have a separate chief of staff or communications shop or whatever the other offices that people used to have. We have one chief of staff, we have one communications shop. We are a joint team. We ran as a team, we manage, and we run the state as a team. Now, of course, the governor sets the direction. I'm the junior partner in all of this. But he sets the direction, makes the final decisions, but as far as the staffs are concerned, we do not have a separate staff. So when I refer to the governor's staff, I refer to my staff as well. As you probably are aware, the state had gotten off track in terms of losing businesses, we were losing jobs, and in fact, losing taxpayers. We had the largest outflow of residents from Maryland of any state in the Mid-Atlantic. And the governor had been a leading voice. Prior to the campaign, when he started a group called Change Maryland, he had been the leading voice in opposition to the policies that he was warning against in terms of the over-regulation, the high taxes, and really an anti-business environment that was being created here in the state. Now, we had some 40 tax increases over an 8-year period, tax and fee increases, piled on an economy that was struggling. And we're a state that has so many assets, wonderful university system, a highly skilled and trained workforce that we should not have been struggling compared to our neighbors. We should have been leading. So with these incredible assets, we are now working to turn this whole thing around. And we're educating our fellow politicians in Annapolis. Many of them have been, I would say, out of touch for a long period of time. But a lot of the challenges that Maryland had were self-inflicted. One I already mentioned, the anti-business attitude that took place in state government. And that included some of our departments, where our departments we're doing a gotcha type of approach to administering regulations. Instead of working with you as businesses on how to help you conform, how to help you meet the obligations and regulations, it was more of, well, we got you. You made a mistake, we're writing you up, here's a fine, whatever the case may be, versus, look, let's see how we can get you to be in compliance with the laws and the regulations. But in the last, I guess we're at 8 months now into this administration, the last 8 months, we've seen a lot of that change. First of all, we've instituted what we call, and shouldn't be surprising, a customer service model for our agencies. That our departments, your departments, the state departments, that they need to treat you as customers. Now, you may not have alternatives on where to go if you need a driver's license or you need to pay something, a fee or whatever the case may be, but they still should treat you, as customers, hopefully with a smile if they can, but to be accommodating. And so that's one of the things that we've changed. We want to make Maryland, again, open for business, and particularly for the over 40,000 Hispanic businesses in the state that have chosen to invest here and to expand here. Second, as I mentioned before, we have 40 consecutive tax and fee increases, taking $10 billion out of the pockets of small businesses and struggling Maryland families. For most families, that amounted to somewhere around $300 a month in new tax and fees that occurred over the last 8 years that weren't there in the prior years. Fortunately, we've had an impact. We made an impact in the last legislative session. We were able to eliminate the mandated rain tax. We also were able to provide tax relief for military retirees. And then this past summer, we were able to roll back the tolls on all the bridges, tunnels, and the intercounty connector. With the toll and fee reduction, some of our friends in Annapolis didn't quite understand why we were doing that and why it's so important. We believe, and I say this on behalf of the whole administration and not just the governor and myself, is that we believe that you and the Maryland citizens will spend money more wisely than us politicians and bureaucrats in Annapolis. That you'll put that money back into the economy, back into churning the economy that will produce jobs, will produce growth, and actually produce tax revenue. But some of the folks don't quite understand that. They think that they just take it away, and they don't understand how people react and what people do when they are able to keep more of their own money. So we're putting the state on a new path and having a government that focuses on fostering growth and opportunity so that we can grow the private sector and put people back to work. The third of those self-inflicted wounds was a burdensome and antiquated regulatory environment. Moments after the governor took the oath of office, he stopped over 100 new job-killing regulations that the prior administration tried to push through at the midnight hour. To address the issue of these overburdening regulations and regulatory structure, we've created a regulatory reform commission that is working to take a top-to-bottom review of every regulation in the state. We're looking to see what regulations have outlived their usefulness, have failed to accomplish their objectives, are poorly written or implemented or interpreted in a way that cause harm to the economy and to citizens. Our administration is intended to focus on making sure that Maryland can once again operate under a fair, accountable, and balanced regulatory environment. Our entire focus is on economic development. I think I said that before. And a priority is on jobs, struggling Maryland families, as well as restoring our economy. We want the Hispanic community and its growing business community to be an integral part of that. Knowing how important the community is to the fabric of Maryland, Governor Hogan appointed the Commission on Hispanic Affairs today to engage the community in partnership with state government and promote social, cultural, and business interests. The commission is dedicated to identifying your singular needs and the problems that are affecting the community. Our administration is committed to doing our part to help grow and have a thriving Maryland. And the good news is that Maryland is on that path. Since taking office, Maryland now has the highest percentage of job creation in the Mid-Atlantic and one of the best in the nation. Jobs are up over 54,000 new jobs. In July alone, there were 9,500 jobs, all from the public sector. I should say 9,500 new jobs. McCormick Spice has announced that it's going to remain in Maryland. They were talking just last year about moving to nearby Pennsylvania. In June, Maersk Lines announced new service to the Port of Baltimore, adding over 700 direct and indirect jobs. And Shimatsu Corporation of Japan announced while the governor was there that they're going to expand their headquarters in Columbia and create an innovation center there as well. And we haven't finished there. We're just getting started. We'll have additional announcements in the next weeks and months with regard to job growth and expansion of businesses. These are all positive signs, but we want to hear from the small business communities as well. It will take a collective effort to get Maryland's economy back on track. And this community is a vital stakeholder to that process. Thank you again for asking me to join. Together, we can change Maryland for the better, and thank you very much. Thank you.